Grrr. Arguments, confrontation, angry people, disagreements. You've got a different opinion to me and you have to believe what I believe. I'm sure at some stage in your life you have experienced some of those situations. And because I'm out and about a lot, I meet a lot of people, I travel a lot, I experience lots of different opinions, different points of view. And then as an exercise professional all of my life, have you noticed that there's a lot of different opinions about eating and exercise? I have to giggle. One of the most controversial topics on the planet, of course. And everybody seems to have an opinion about both of them. Now, everyone has an opinion about food because everybody eats. But even the people that don't exercise have a very strong opinion about how you should exercise. So here's a great question. Do you want to convince people that they are wrong? Do you need to convince people that they should have the same opinion as you? Or is it possible that even if somebody has a complete opposing opinion to you, that you could learn from that opinion? So if you look at the big topics, health, eating, exercise, politics, religion, sexual persuasion, most people have an opinion about all of those, and some people a very strong, very loud opinion. So one of the things I've learned, and because I'm an old lady, this is so much fun to do this, I will often ask controversial questions. I was brought up never ask questions about politics, never ask questions about religion, never ask questions about sexual persuasion. But I often do, but I do this. There's two things. One is I have blonde hair for a reason, because when you have blonde hair, people want to teach you stuff. It seems that, poor Lovey, she's got blonde hair, she wants to learn, so we'll teach her. And I love it, because what I do is I ask a controversial question, lean forward, maintain eye contact, open body language, and actively listen, and then I ask 2 or 3 questions about each answer the person gives me. Because that person has a very strong opinion for a reason. Their life experience, their upbringing, their culture, the way they were brainwashed or brought up as a child. We all have different experiences in life, which gives us different reasons to vote a certain way, believe in a certain religion or not, believe how to bring up kids or not. And that's one of the very interesting things. I have no children. So I often ask parents about parenting, and I ask it with a complete naiveness because I have no children. So I love hearing other people's opinions. Now, if I had kids, I might never do that with my children. But how can I learn? And I'm sharing this with you because we learn from other people. Yes, we learn from our own life experience, but often our own life experience is because of other people. So how do I bring up children? How would I ever know if I don't ask other people? Now, I don't have to agree with what they say, but I've now got some different ideas, some different ways of thinking. And I never want to be the person that is, and I call it arrogance, where I think I know everything. I know how to exercise. I know how to eat. I know who you should vote for. I know that there is a God or there isn't a God. I'm always, and this is my favourite question, tell me about that, or tell me more about that, or why do you believe that? I, as a human being, as do you, have every right to have an opinion. But if I'm just repeating my own opinion, how can I possibly learn anything? But why do I think that I could change somebody else's opinion? Why do people think they need to do that? So I live in the beautiful South Island of New Zealand. There's lots of gorgeous places to go. And when you go to places like that, there's people from all over the world, different cultures, different age groups, different genders, people from everywhere, and often not from New Zealand. And I love asking questions, and I like to invest time because I like to learn. I'm sharing all of that with you because I think we live in a world now where, because people have become so opinionated and so aggressive about their opinion, that we've become a very divided human beings, or the way we communicate with each other. It's all about, you have to believe what I do. I was taught again a very long time ago, a person convinced against their will is of the same opinion still. So I might have a great argument for why I believe what I believe, and I could share that argument with somebody else. But it's possible, and I'm sure you've experienced this, that they will even get more defensive about their opinion. So I'm going to use eating and exercise as an example because that's who I am. And I have an international college that trains people how to learn about anatomy and physiology so that they can have a broad general knowledge and a specific knowledge about how to get people fit and how to get people strong. Two of the most controversial topics on the planet. So if you see somebody in the gym, for example, or somebody in your family is doing a silly exercise, if you tell them that's a silly exercise, don't do it, you're very likely to get into an argument. It's very disrespectful, because what if that's their favourite exercise, or what if they're an exercise physiologist? And I use that as an example because there's a lot of exercise professionals, whether it's an exercise physiologist or a football coach or an Olympic rowing coach, people who for a living train people, sports strength and conditioning coaches, every team's got one now, but they all have different experiences on how they learned, or why they believe what they believe. So you might see something that you don't like, and if you say, don't do that, that's a stupid exercise, your relationship, or is it possible that relationship's now finished? That person will never listen to you because you've already got their backup. But if you ask a different question, which is, why do you do that exercise? What's the outcome that you want to get from that exercise? Are you getting the result from that exercise that you want? Now, if they're really opinionated, they'll say yes, and they'll give you all the reasons why, and now you'll know why they are doing what they're doing. If somebody says to you, well, actually, I don't know why I do this. My footy coach told me to do it 20 years ago, so I still keep doing it. And you then ask the question, are you getting the result that you want from that exercise? And they say, well, actually, no, I'm not. I feel like I'm wasting my time, or I feel like the results are too slow, or I feel like I've been doing this forever and it's just not working for me. Now comes a beautiful question. If there was a safer, more effective, faster way to do that, or get the same result without having to do that exercise, is that something you'd like to chat about? If there was a quicker, safer, better way to do it, would you be interested in having a chat? Now, again, a lot of people will say no. No, I'm happy with what I'm doing. I'll just plod along with it. But if someone genuinely wants to get a result, if they genuinely want to achieve their result, then you've now got a different conversation, because they might say, well, yes, actually, could you please help me? And then you could say, I'm an exercise professional, I've been studying anatomy and physiology for 40 plus years, and let me just ask you a couple of questions about that exercise. And I'll use again, this is how I live my life. The exercise that you're doing at the moment, if you did that on a work site, or on a construction site, or in a warehouse, or in somebody's business, if you pick something up like that and threw it, is it possible that that would be a workplace health and safety risk injury, and you might even get sued if you gave it to somebody? But the movement pattern that you've just done, you're doing it in the gym, is it possible that that could hurt you in the gym as well? Now, I'm not telling them what to do, I'm just asking them to think for themselves. If you have a look at that movement pattern, and you look at the shoulder joint or the knee joint or your lower back or your hip joint, and if the exercise is doing this to the joint over and over and over and over with speed or momentum or rotation, just wear and tear, is it possible that you could get injured? And maybe that's why you've got an injured knee or an injured shoulder. Can you hear the difference in my voice? I'm not telling somebody what to do. I'm just asking them to think for themselves. And I'll ask you this personal question. When somebody tells you what to do, you have to do. And I have a few people in my life like that, even though I've been an exercise professional for a very long time, 40 plus years, and I study anatomy and physiology every day. I still meet people who are very happy to preach at me with their finger, you should be doing this, about eating and exercise. And I always say, this is my favourite thing to say. Thank you so much. You're obviously really passionate about the human body. You obviously study it every day. And I love somebody with passion. There's another one about if you exercise over and over and over too many times without a rest in between, if you don't let your body recover, your body will get overtrained. You could get injured. That's a classic example of people that go to the gym all the time, that love going to the gym. But I would never say to somebody, you go to the gym too much and that's why you're overtrained. For me, it's a compliment. You are a bloody legend. Most people don't exercise, and you're here 5 days a week, 7 days a week, training your ass off. You are awesome. Because if you want to open up a conversation with somebody, isn't it easier to do that with kindness and respect rather than don't do that, it's bad for you? So as a gym manager in multiple countries around the world, it's been a great pleasure to be able to say that. The exercise that you're doing at the moment, wow, congratulations for doing it. First of all, you're here at the gym 5-7 days a week, and you're obviously committed because you're working really hard on that exercise. Why do you do that exercise? Are you getting the result that you want? And that opens up a completely different conversation. And if you are friendly and kind and respectful, And now I won't talk about exercise anymore. I'll just talk about anything. If you're kind and respectful to somebody about gender, about politics, about religion, about culture, about how to bring up your kids, is it possible that you'll have a much nicer conversation if you're kind and respectful than if you tell people what to do and they should have this opinion? I'm asking, and this is my begging position as I always share, I'm asking that question because the world's full of so much arguing and so much disrespect and so much meanness and negativity and unkindness. And I'm an old lady and I don't want to live in a world like that, which is why I'm out in my backyard and there's nobody here and all I can hear is the birds, and I love being by myself. If I have to go out into the world and deal with people, I don't want to argue with them, and I just want to learn and enjoy the experience. So even if somebody says some crazy, silly stuff that I don't agree with, I just say, wow, tell me more about that. Lean forward, maintain eye contact and open body language, and listen and ask more questions. Because I want to build relationships, not break them down. I want to learn, not just talk about stuff I already know. And most importantly, I want to add value to my world, not detract from my world. When you walk away from somebody, do they like you or have you made them angry? Do you care what they think about you? And you might not. But if they're going to be talking about you in the future, would you like them to be saying, oh, that was a really nice person, they were really respectful, they were kind and they were a great listener, versus they were opinionated so-and-so, arrogant, rude, and just wanted me to listen to their opinion? It's a great question to consider. Who are you and how do you want to be remembered? And if you don't care what other people think, that's even better. That seems to be a sign of maturity. I don't care what other people think. I'm going to live my life and love it. Live your life to the max. Woohoo! Live your life to the max and check out the beautiful day. Oh, what a beautiful day.